What's going on, everybody? It is yours truly, Who Dat Davis. If you don't know, you will know that over here we bleed black and gold until we are dead and cold. And thank you for joining me today for another edition of the State of Black and Gold podcast. It's nothing too serious today. We should go ahead and talk shop about Saints, football, the NFC South, and all that juicy stuff. So let's get it. Let's go. I'm first going to start off with calling Bruce Arians, the Tampa Bay head coach. He recently just came out with the following. Let me go ahead and pull this up for you right now. Bruce Arians, you said, and I quote, "It's hard on the quarterback, especially when you've done something for 20 years and then throw all these guys at him." So what are you trying to say, Bruce Arians? Are you trying to say that he has too much talent around him? Are you saying that there's not enough balance? Like, what are you trying to say here? Because the narrative for the longest time was Tom Brady wasn't able to push the ball down the field because he had no wide receivers. He had no talent around him. Now he comes to Tampa Bay, and he has all his talent around him. Chris Godwin, Mike Evans, Cameron Brate, Rob Gronkowski, Antonio Brown, Ronald Jones out of the backfield, Leonard Fournette. You telling all of us here, the Who Dat Nation in this football world, that the reason why Tom Brady is having an unsuccessful run thus far over the past 3 games, he's lost 2 of his last 3 games. You're telling me that it's because he has too much talent around Tom Brady? Because that's what I'm getting off of that. When are you going to learn that the most problematic? I wouldn't say problematic. Yeah, I will say problematic because I don't care. The most problematic figure in that Tampa Bay team, it starts with the head coach. So it starts with you, Bruce Arians. How dare you try to deflect blame yet again on Tom Brady? Yeah, let me know. I do not like Tom Brady. I think he's overrated. I think he's got too big of an ego. But I blame you just as much. There's no way, there is no excuse for Tom Brady to be playing like he is. There's no excuse for this all-star caliber offense for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to be playing like this. You are the official Cleveland Browns of last season. You are the 2019 Cleveland Browns. I'm disappointed in you. You're going to make the playoffs. Let's go ahead and get that out of the way. But you're going to be a first-round exit. If you come across a team such as, I don't know, the Rams again or the Saints again, maybe even Seattle Seahawks. Hell, if the Giants somehow find a way to get into the playoffs, you're going to lose against them because you barely managed to survive them in your last meeting. You needed a questionable no call from the refs just to get by the New York Giants. Bruce Arians, you are a travesty. You are a travesty to that franchise. You are a travesty of a head coach. And if you don't believe me, look at Bruce Arians' track record. I see we got somebody. We got Travis 504. Who that to you, my man? How you doing? We talking shop today. Just talking shop about Tom Brady, Bruce Arians, NFC South, and NFL as a whole. And next, I'm going to get into Taysom Hill. I don't want to hear that Taysom Hill cannot be a franchise quarterback because of his age. Okay, let's look at who's a franchise quarterback. You have Ben Roethlisberger, who is 38 years old. You have Matt Ryan, who is 35 years old. You have Russell Wilson, who is 31 years old. You have Cam Newton, a franchise quarterback material, who is 31 years old. Alex Smith of Washington, who's 36 years old. Taysom Hill is only 30 years old. I don't want to hear that Taysom Hill can't be a franchise quarterback for the Saints. For one, because of that. For two, we don't have enough footage on Taysom Hill yet. And he already has made a pretty big opening statement by winning against a team that's known for playing the Saints the hardest out of anybody on their schedule, in the Atlanta Falcons. Okay? He showed he can be poised in the pocket, he can maneuver in the pocket, and situationally when he needs to, he can run the football. Okay? And the team rallied around him. In the biggest way. Travis 504 says we got a little help from the Rams. Honestly, yeah, we did. Okay, the Rams helped us out big time. Now we only need 6 games, 4 wins. out of the last 6 games just to clinch the division. And don't forget, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers have the Kansas City Chiefs next. And their Bucs passing defense has been really, really suspect over the past couple of weeks. So you know that Patrick Mahomes is going to have a field day going up against the likes of Jordan Whitehead, Antoine Winfield, Jamal Dean, Carlton Davis. He's going to have a field day against those guys. Tyreek Hill is probably going to have a big game. So the need to clinch the division is going to grow even smaller for the Saints, which is good. Now, subsequently, you have the Los Angeles Rams coming up, and they're looking like a top 5 defense, and it showed last night. But I'm not too scared about their offense, okay? Because that Bucs defense, with the exception of their line, was very suspect. Okay, yeah, you can credit Cooper Kupp, you can credit Robert Woods of getting yards after the catch, but it's that same level of offense that the Saints have been doing for the past 2 to 3 years, and they were criticized for that the most. Okay, and everybody's praising the Rams for their offensive play, but they don't want to give the Saints that just due credit. That makes absolutely no sense to me. How can you go hate on the Saints for doing yards after the catch to the likes of a younger quarterback with a livelier arm in Jared Goff, and he's still managing to do nothing but check downs and slants? I know a quarterback who's getting hate for doing intermediate short routes. I know a wide receiver who is getting hate for doing mostly slant. Quote. So really, media, I'm looking at y'all too. Keep us out of your mouths. We don't want it. We don't care for it. It makes absolutely no sense to me, guys. And the Atlanta Falcons, who talked all that smack for the whole week, and look what happened to you. You got smacked up by Taysom Hill. 8 sacks. I was hoping for 9 because I was about to hit y'all with the biggest memes. And honestly, I love this guy. I do. I'm calling out Fist Vegas. Fist Vegas, whenever you see this, man, I don't hate you. I respect you. I respect your platform and everything you do. I rock Fist Vegas. I rock Fist Unit. But your take on Taysom Hill, I don't agree with it, man. As I said earlier in this podcast, look at who's our franchise quarterback in this league. You have Ben Roethlisberger, who's 38 years old. You have Russell Wilson, who is 31 years old. You have Alex Smith, who is 36 years old. You're going to argue that Alex Smith is trash, but that's beside the point. You have Matt Ryan, who is 35 years old. You have 30-plus-year-old quarterbacks, and Taysom Hill is younger than all of them. And you say Taysom Hill is slow, he can't run? A quarterback who runs a 4.4 40 and scored 2 rushing touchdowns can't be a franchise quarterback? That makes absolutely no sense to me, Fisk. You're in danger of eating a lot of crows. The jury still remains to be out if Taysom Hill can have a consistent performance, because now he's got his real test in the Denver Broncos. The Denver Broncos is no team to sleep on. They just derailed a hot Miami Dolphins team. They derailed them so much that Tua Tagovailoa got rode the bench in place of Ryan Fitzpatrick. So the Denver Broncos have a serious pass rush. So Taysom Hill can have a better performance. You're going to be eating crow's fists. And honestly, I can't wait for it. It's going to be a good day, and you can end up eating the crows, man. But other than that, I rock with your fist. Most of what you do, I respect. Most of what you say, I agree with. It's funny when you put people on blast in your firing range videos. I watch that constantly. Shout out to Fist Vegas. I just don't agree with you on that point, man. We got Ray. Are you surprised we stand now versus how we started? Honestly, no. I'm not surprised. I will be the first to say that I was one of the hardest critics on the Saints defense earlier in the season. When you lose to Las Vegas Raiders and when you lose to a Green Bay team that you easily could have beaten if you just kept running the football, you're going to have the likes of me and other knowledgeable Saints fans come down on you. Like, you know what you can do. Ray says, is this the game we see a more comfortable Taysom Hill? Absolutely. I do believe this is going to be a more comfortable Taysom Hill we see in this game. He's already gotten the jitters of his first NFL start officially under his belt. We're going to see Sean Payton sit down with Taysom Hill throughout the week, go over footage, go over game plan. you're going to see. I think Taysom Hill is going to have his two passing touchdowns. One's going to come from the goal line, probably to Michael Thomas. And I think the next one's going to be to Emmanuel Sanders. I know he wants to get that Emmanuel Sanders touchdown back, so I look for Emmanuel Sanders to come away with a touchdown bomb from Taysom Hill. But yeah, I do believe that Taysom Hill is going to have a more comfortable start against the Denver Broncos, provided that he does actually start. Petty Payton likes to keep things interesting. So, but I do believe he's going to rock this boat with Taysom Hill going into Denver. It's going to be a fun ride. I'm definitely looking forward to seeing more Taysom Hill. I'm definitely eating crows because I was a little skeptical. I was one of those people who was for Jameis Winston to start over Taysom Hill because he has experience. But I should know better than to question the mind of Sean Payton. And speaking of Sean Payton, I can't believe that Sean Payton is not in the discussion to be Coach of the Year. Look at what Sean Payton has had to go through so far this season. He's been without Michael Thomas for half the season. He's been without him and Emmanuel Sanders for a couple of games. He's been without Alvin Kamara having a big game. He's been without Drew Brees now, and he's still managing to find ways to win games. Against the Detroit Lions, they were out Marshawn Lattimore and Jack Rabbit and Norris Jenkins, and they still managed to come away with the win and an INT on top of that. Shout out to Patrick Robinson. He has 2 INTs on the year. Okay, that's just a testament to Sean Payton and this coaching staff. And for him to not be in the conversation, at least for Coach of the Year, is disrespectful to the mad scientist. I don't understand what this man has to do to get considered Coach of the Year. I don't understand what's Alvin Kamara gonna have to do to be considered MVP. Now you could argue that the MVP is pretty much a quarterback award, but I think the narrative of that can be changed. Look at the likes of Dalvin Cook. Look at the likes of Derrick Henry. Look at Alvin Kamara league in scrimmage yards, and both I don't understand. When are we going to see more than a quarterback receive this award? It doesn't make any sense to me. Ray says, if Taysom Hill goes on a 4 or 5 game win streak, do we let Brees come back into the starting lineup or keep the hot hand going? Honestly, Taysom Hill is going to be even more valuable. Shout out to TJ Jones on this take. I'm just mimicking what he's saying right now. I think Taysom Hill is going to be more of a value once Drew Brees comes back, because now defenses and playoff teams have to respect the fact that Taysom Hill can throw the football. If he does go on his 4 to 5 game win streak, they'll have to respect the fact that he can throw the football, and they already know that he can run with his legs. Okay, so once Drew Brees comes back, hopefully that's not going to be a detriment, because we saw what happened last time when Drew Brees came back from a hot Teddy Bridgewater, who went on a 5-0 start. Yeah, he had that one win against the Arizona, but after that, he laid an egg against the Atlanta Falcons, 26-9. I think Sean Payton's going to come back into the starting lineup because Drew Brees is Drew Brees. He's put a lot of time, he's put a lot of energy and heart into this Saints organization, the city of New Orleans, this team, and Drew Brees has earned the right to go out on his own terms. Okay, so I do believe Sean Payton is going to put Drew Brees back into that starting quarterback position once he is deemed healthy enough to return. Now, is it going to work out? I don't know. But I know one way or the other, this is most likely going to be Drew Brees' last season. Especially more so the fact, when you look at what the Saints have been doing so far this season in terms of contract extensions. You got Michael Thomas, who received his big 5-year, $100 million extension. Alvin Kamara had a 5-year extension. Demario Davis signed a 3-year extension. All these players are getting paid in key positions. That lets you know right there that they're preparing for a life post-Brees. And the fact that Drew Brees played with 11 cracked ribs and a punctured lung, yes, it is a punctured lung, not a lung. That report did come out late last week. When your body is going through that, especially sustained over a 2-week period, at 41 years old, I think he's 41 years old. At 41 years old, that is something. That's something serious. You have kids at home. You have a wife at home. You don't want to put them through that kind of scare. So I think Drew Brees should enjoy this. He should push hard to get the Super Bowl. But then I do believe Drew Brees is going to retire, and I'm not even mad. I'm not going to be mad at him if he does. Okay, his body and health come first before anything else. I see we got Jared Poor here. What's going on, Jerry? Jerry says, "Who that? Who that to you, my man?" I got Ray showing him some love. Yeah, we're just talking shot right now. We're talking shot right now, guys. Speaking of teams around the NFL, I have to give credit to where it's due to XFL legend PJ Walker, who's with the Carolina Panthers. His first NFL start ends up in a shutout against the Detroit Lions. Whether what you want to say about the Detroit Lions, say it. But that's a big win to have underneath your belt, especially making your first official NFL start. So shout out to PJ Walker getting that dub and getting that shutout win, man. Jerry Poor says Saints take full control of the NFC. Honestly, I do believe the Saints are in a comfortable position to be the number 1 seed, but it's all depending on what Taysom Hill and this Saints team do in this final stretch of games. If they lay an egg against one of these NFC teams, then Green Bay is going to come back and because they got the head-to-head. So it's really on the Saints team to handle business. Now, the only way the Saints can have the number 1 seed over Green Bay is if they have an overall better record than the Packers. The Colts helped us out by beating Green Bay in overtime. Green Bay choked, by the way. You'd love to see it. But I think Green Bay is going to lose maybe another 1 or 2 games. And the Saints don't mess around and lay an egg against the likes of the Eagles, the likes of the Broncos. The only logical game they should lose is against Kansas City. Even then, the Saints have a good chance of beating Kansas City because the defense is kind of suspect in the passing game. Look at what the Raiders have done in the last 2 meetings. The Raiders went up into Arrowhead and they beat them. And at home, they almost beat them. Ray says the Saints have to win 4 more games to close out the division. Yes, the Saints do have to win 4 more games to close out the division. But if Tampa Bay loses another game to Kansas City, which most likely is going to happen, then the Saints are only have to win 3 games to clinch the division. And in that 3-game span, you've got Denver, Atlanta again, and then you got the Eagles. Those are 3 very winnable games. But honestly, the Eagles' defense kind of scares me. The Eagles are one of the top in terms of pass rush, led by Fletcher Cox. So it really depends on how Taysom Hill plays in that game. I don't think he's going to lay an egg, but it's any given Sunday. These teams are going to figure out Taysom Hill as they get footage on him. Taysom Hill just has to take care of business. And we as Saints fans have to support him all the way. All of us Saints fans are eating crows right now. I said this a little earlier, but I want to rehash this because of the fact that so many of us are quick to dismiss Taysom Hill of being the future, of being able to hold it down, or the fact that Jameis Winston should have gotten a start. In some ways, I can understand Jameis Winston needing to get the start, but if Taysom Hill can go on this run, if the mad scientists and Sean Payton can continue game planning the way he's been game planning, winning games when he is most likely been predicted to lose, I don't think the Saints are going to have any issues, especially Taysom Hill. With more reps and more wins, you're going to see this offense really gel into something we haven't seen in a long time. Probably since the 2012 to 2016 season in terms of Saints offense. Okay, we haven't seen a consistent deep ball in the longest time. And now Sean Payton's playing with fire because he knows we as fans have not seen a deep ball in a long time, not on a consistent basis. And now we've gotten a taste of that. We're going to want more. I'm certainly going to want more of the deep ball from Taysom Hill. I want to see more of Emmanuel Sanders going down the field, stretching the defense. I want to see more of Michael Thomas showing that he can run more than slants. And Taysom Hill can provide that if they just keep on this pace. Okay, and once Drew Brees comes back, most of that's going to be taken away. Okay, and that's something that's going to infuriate a lot of us. So Sean Payton needs to be a little careful with that. You got Jerry Poyer says, and Taysom Hill had a good game on his first start as a starting. Yes, I wouldn't even say good. He had a great game. Okay, especially with all the hate he's been getting. Jerry Boy says, I enjoyed the show Sunday with Miss Arlene. I appreciate that. I appreciate that, Jerry. I appreciate you coming out and supporting the State of Black and Gold podcast. And speaking of support, guys, I got some big news coming out within the next week. I have to see if it comes in or not, but if it does, I have a lot of news I want to break to you guys. So hopefully that news can stand, and hopefully I'll be able to get that out to y'all. But if y'all want to support the State of Black and Gold podcast, I have linked my PayPal in the description. Everything you guys donate to me will not be for my personal use. All that donation is going to be towards supporting the State of Black and Gold podcast, upgrading my services here on StreamYard, all that good stuff, so I can give you guys more consistent content. On top of that, I'm going to have a more consistent schedule in terms of when I do podcasts and when I'm not. Definitely going to be Saturday. It's definitely going to be Sunday prior and Sunday after the games. It's definitely going to be Monday, this, that, another, and everything else in between all that. It just depends on what kind of news we get from the Saints. Ray comes out and says, last 3 years, Saints only lost 8 games. That's amazing. That just speaks again to the fortitude of this Saints coaching staff, the coaching mind of Sean Payton, the harmony that is in the Saints locker room, the way they're able to shut out outside noise and just focus on the task at hand. And if they can put all that together in the postseason, honestly, this Saints team can be like this Saints team, and maybe even 4-time Super Bowl championship team.
I'm gonna fix it. The rest of the top, Joe.
Later. Yeah, that was my grandmother, guys. She's like, I know who that was. Food, all that. But yeah, man, the Saints can be and easily be a 3-time Super Bowl champion, and that's something that's good, and that's also infuriating because this Saints team has been really good ever since 2017. Look who they drafted in 2017: Marshawn Lattimore. They've Ryan. Marcus Williams, who's having a really good series of games this past month. Okay, he has 3 INTs on the year, and his tackling has been surefire. If he can have that kind of game again against the 1-2 combo of Jerry Jeudy and KJ Hamler, who are underrated so far because they're going under the radar in terms of rookies this season because of the Denver Broncos' overall record, like that really I think he's really going to solidify that he wants to stay in New Orleans and he is worthy of a contract extension. Now, the length of the contract extension can be debated, but I think he's going to earn at least a 2-year extension with the New Orleans Saints, provided they let go of Sheldon Rankins. I'm very disappointed in. I'm disappointed in Sheldon Rankins for the sole fact that he is a really, really good pickup in the 2016 draft, but he just hasn't been healthy, just like Marcus Davenport. Now, Sheldon Rankins comes back. He should be coming back either next week for the Atlanta Falcons game or maybe the week after against the Philadelphia Eagles. If Sheldon Rankins can maintain that health and get back at the right time for the postseason, I don't know. I think this most likely is going to be Sheldon Rankins' last season with the New Orleans Saints, and that's disappointing. I really love the Sheldon shimmy. Jerry Poor comes on and says, tell your grandma hello from me and Saints fans. Much love to grandma. My grandma is a really big Saints fan. She loves everything Saints. She watches them every Sunday. I really want her to experience a Super Bowl win again like she did in 2009. She was really happy, guys. Like, she was a really, really happy woman when she saw the Saints win in 2009 and 2010 season. Shout out to grandma, man. There's no better love, especially when it comes to food. You know what I'm saying? Oh man, there's no better home cooked meal than a grandma home cooked meal. Okay. Now back to the NFL. It's been posted that the Los Angeles Rams had a post game party in the locker room with no masks. No masks. I'll say it one more time. No masks. So it remains to be seen if Roger Goodell punishes this Los Angeles Rams team to keep that same energy, because apparently the case is still open on the New Orleans Saints for having a post party in a locker room without mask on. And if they don't have that same energy for the Los Angeles Rams, they don't have energy for the Kansas City Chiefs, the Pittsburgh Steelers, so on and so forth, He's just really going to solidify even more that he's just biased against the Saints. Absolutely biased. And we've known that as a whole since that whole Bounty Gates debacle that was already ruled out to be not true. Everybody's still on about that. Roger Goodell, you're on the hot seat right now. Can you keep that same energy and punish this Los Angeles Rams team who has gone live and said that that have gone live and showed that they are partying without masks? Are you going to be biased? Like we as Saints fans know you are. Jerry Poyer says, I was just with my grandma and my aunt with the Saints winning the Super Bowl in 2009. I mean, a lot of us were. I mean, a lot of us were. When you want to put it like that, that's the first Super Bowl win for this Saints organization, and it came at probably the best time for Drew Brees in his young Saints career. So shout out to Drew Brees about that. But he should have, I say, 2 more in the 2017 and 2018 season. I get Marcus Williams had a rookie mistake. It came at a bad time. It's growing pains. I get that. The 2018, that should have been our Super Bowl. That should have been our Super Bowl year, and I know all of y'all agree with me on that. Roger Goodell and that ref officiating crew robbed us of that. And we are never going to forgive them for that because we should be a potentially 3-time Super Bowl championship team, without a doubt, at least a 2-time. We should have been 2 that. Okay? Now, speaking of the rest of the NFL, I'm ripping again on, yes, the Atlanta Falcons. I ripped on them a little earlier, on them again because fuck the Falcons. Fuck the Falcons. Y'all talk all that smack all week long. Righty right, talk all that smack all week long. The NFL sports media talk that smack all week long because Taysom Hill was presumed a starter. They call Sean Payton crazy. They call Sean Payton like he's arrogant. Now look what happened to you. A 24-9 win. A little bit of poetic justice considering what happened last year in the Dome. 26-9, 24-9. These teams love this number 9. I know the Saints. I know a place and an organization that loves number 9. But yeah, man, these Atlanta Falcons, I don't want to hear nothing from y'all. Especially, I don't want to hear nothing. I don't want to hear absolutely nothing about these Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Absolutely nothing. They are a joke of a franchise. Okay? I said earlier, and I'll say it again. They survived the New York Giants. They didn't win against New York Giants. They survived the New York Giants. They should be probably 6-5 by now. They should be an easy 6-5. And with good reason. This Tampa Bay team is absolutely hilarious in a bad way. But you have the likes of Mike Evans. We have the likes of Chris Godwin, Cameron Brate, Rob Gronkowski, Leonard Fournette, Ronald Jones, and Tom Brady under the supposed quarterback whisperer, quote unquote, of Bruce Arians, and you're only having this type of performance out of all that talent. Get out of here. I don't want to hear nothing else about that. A joke of a franchise for over 13 years, over a decade. And all of a sudden, y'all want to come out and say, y'all, this is y'all's year. Y'all are the Dallas Cowboys. Y'all are worse than the Dallas Cowboys this season. And that's saying a lot because the Dallas Cowboys are arguably the most annoying fan base in the NFL. And you managed to beat out the Dallas Cowboys fan base, get out of here, man. Like, honestly, TJ was on Bucks fans earlier. Yeah, I was there. I watched all that. Shout out to TJ Jones. From the State of the Saints podcast. I will link his channel in the comments below after this podcast is over. Make sure y'all check him out. Go give him some love and support. I know this channel supports him. His channel supports me. And that's just how it is over here in the Saints in the Saints community, man. We have to support each other. We can't be trying to nitpick at each other. We can't be at each other's throats. Yeah, there is going to be some questionable moves by the Saints front office, and yeah, we're going to have some difference of opinions. But when you're down and out, when you're trying to rip at each other, insult each other's football IQ and all that, it just doesn't make any sense to me. You have to support your players no matter what. Okay, you can be mad. Of course, I'm going to be mad. I'm not always happy with the Saints. I'm going to support them either way because it's just a decision. It's their decision. And with the track record of Morpheus Loomis and Sean Payton since 2017, they've almost done no wrong. Look at what they've done recently with the trade for Quan Alexander. Look what Quan Alexander has done for the Saints defense already as an immediate impact player. And look what the 49ers are stuck with. They're stuck with nothing because they released Kiko Alonso, who went back to their PUP list. The Saints just absolutely fleeced the San Francisco 49ers. Yeah, they can argue that it was a cap move to release some cap hit. But if Quan Alexander maintains his health, and if he decides he wants to stay with the Saints organization, and he wants to restructure that contract to be under the new cap in the 2021 season, Morpheus Loomis is going to be, without a doubt, the GOAT. He's going to be the GOAT of a GM. Now, you can argue that the Kansas City GM is also in that conversation, but no, I definitely think Morpheus Loomis is definitely going to be the number one GOAT of a GM in this NFL if he can manage to pull that off. Okay, Quan Alexander is a big signing so far. It's a big signing so far. The biggest test right now is against this Denver Broncos team on that field in those weather conditions. Although we don't know the kind of weather conditions the Denver Broncos is going to have come Sunday, but yeah, man, it's if Quan Alexander has a big game there, like he has been on a roll on these two stretch so far, man, the sky's the limit. Jerry Porter says, speaking of Kiko Alonso, 49ers released him by failed physical. I mean, yeah, like I said, Kiko failed his physical and he remained on a PUP list. The San Francisco 49ers waived him. It's really it's funny. It makes you wonder how did Morpheus Loomis manage to get him in a trade, in a trade discussion, because he had to have passed some type of physical to be able to be eligible for a trade, right? So how did Morpheus Loomis come up with that? Shout out to Morpheus Loomis. I love that, man. Jerry Porter says sunny and cold Sunday, high 45, low 27. Oh, it's going to be cold. Okay, so it's going to be a cold Sunday. It's going to be a cold Sunday up there. This is going to be the next big test for Taysom Hill. This first NFL start in cold conditions, outside conditions. Can he have a repeat performance? Can he maintain ball security when he's running the football? And what I want to see, and speaking of ball security, when he's running the football, if he's running up the left side, I want to see that ball transition into his left hand. You want to maintain the ball on your not on the inside, but on your outside arm when you're running the football. Okay, especially when you're running up a sideline. Because as you've seen last week against the Atlanta Falcons, AJ Terrell punched that ball out. Okay, he has to maintain control of the football. He can't be careless with it. He still leads the team and fumbles the season. Although it hasn't come at two bigger times except in that Green Bay game. But other than that, yeah, it's up to Taysom Hill. Ball security, continue to play smart with the football in terms of maneuvering the pocket, going through his reads. Nick Underhill came out and said Taysom Hill looked better on film than he did in live view. So, and that's actually pretty promising. Taysom Hill had a pretty good score from Pro Football Focus, rating of 71. That's not bad. That's actually not bad when you're given what the rest of the NFL quarterbacks are doing so far this season, especially the NFC South. Okay, Taysom Hill and PJ Walker had good stats, but Matt Ryan and Tom Brady had a Pro Football Focus rating of 65. Anywhere in 68, and Matt Ryan had 45, a 45 rating. Taysom Hill was rated the top-rated quarterback in the NFC South. Okay, that's big. That is really, really big. Travis getting a shout-out from Jerry Ford saying, who that to you? Who that, my man? We're going to go ahead and get this link into the chat box here. If you got, let some people call in. I'll take a couple calls. Probably one or two, maybe even three before I get up out of here because it's lunchtime and your boy's hungry. But it's going to be really interesting. But yeah, man, it's going to be an interesting 6-game stretch. what Taysom Hill is going to look like, what this Saints offense is going to look like when Drew Brees comes back. Will Drew Brees still have that? Will Drew Brees have that same type of energy and synergy he had with the rest of the receiving core? And speaking of receiving core, Jared Cook is having a questionable game so far this season. He's had a couple of big catches, a 46-yard completion in week 1, a 35-yard completion against the Chargers back in week 4. It's I don't understand what's going on with Jared Cook. Is he okay? Is he going to have a resurgence? Because around this time last season, Jared Cook had a big coming on. He got hot at the right time. Jared Cook's had some fumbles, some drop passes. He's looked a little slower, kind of like Rob Gronkowski. He is up there in age, I'll admit that. But Adam Traub is going to see a lot more snaps, and I believe that going down the stretch, he had a 19-yard completion from Taysom Hill to get the Saints inside the 5-yard line, first and goal. So shout out to Alan Trautman. He had a high grade on the Pro Football Focus. Let's go ahead and get our first caller in here, Jerry Poor. What's going on with you, Jerry?
What's going on with you, Aaron? Who that to you?
Who that, my man? Just talking Saints football and all football around the league, man. What you got for me?
Oh man, I just want to say that was a good game on Sunday. We blew them Falcons and ate them for dinner.
Yes, sir. It shut up a whole lot of Saints fans, or not a whole lot of Saints fans about Taysom Hill, and it definitely shut up Atlanta Falcons fans talking about how they're gonna run shop over us just like they did last season, especially Roddy White. I got receipts. I got receipts on everybody. I got those receipts now.
Listen, speaking of Roddy White, where the last time he played a game and caught a football? Says he like to spend time on Twitter.
Exactly, man. It just makes
Yeah,
makes
that part
absolutely no
right
sense to
there.
me. Now, I get it. You're repping you're repping your former team. You're repping your state. You're repping the city of Georgia and all that. I get all that, but you're gonna have to think twice next time we are talking about this rematch. And I say in less than 2 weeks. In less than 2 weeks, we're gonna see if it's gonna be another sweep. That's a
Yep.
good question. What do you think? Do the Saints go undefeated in the NFC South this season?
Well, we're currently sitting at 8-2, and like I said, thanks to the Rams beating the Bucks last night, which I am happy, and we do have a 2-game lead in the NFC South. Like you said, we just got to keep winning, and hopefully we already locked that division in, like Ray said, like you said. The more games we win, and because I know Tampa Bay is going to lose to Kansas City big time on Sunday because Kansas City is no joke. Kansas City is definitely no joke, and I don't see Tom Brady rebounding from last night and beat Patrick Mahomes in this red hot Chiefs team. I don't see it.
But speaking of the Kansas City Chiefs, do you believe the Saints can beat the Kansas City Chiefs? When you look at that Kansas City defense, they're pretty suspect against the pass. Look at what the Rays have been able to do to them. Stretching the field, opening up the play action, getting the ball down the field, intermediate to deep routes. If the
Oh
Saints
man.
defense continues to play like they have, and if Taysom Hill can actually manage to beat this Kansas City Chiefs team led by Patrick Mahomes, who's most likely going to win MVP because Russell Wilson's had a bit of a downhill slope. If
Mm.
Taysom Hill and this Saints team can beat Kansas City, what does that kind of say going forward, especially with Drew Brees eager to get back into the Saints lineup?
Oh man, that's gonna be tough right there because now see, I still want to say this, Aaron. I think we made a huge mistake that year because we were supposed to get Patrick Mahomes to come to New Orleans and not a defensive end, or we were supposed to get Lamar Jackson to come to New Orleans instead of offensive lineman or something like that. See that if that would have happened right there, see either Mahomes or Jackson would have carried this Saints team to the next level, just like Mahomes doing in Kansas City, and just like Jackson doing in Baltimore. That was our mistake that we should have got them. Either one of them.
Yeah, well, I believe everything happens for a reason. In that draft where Kansas City moved up one spot ahead of us to take Patrick Mahomes, we ended up getting Marshawn Lattimore. In the draft where Lamar Jackson got drafted, we ended up getting Ryan Ramchick. And those are key pieces to the Saints team that worked out well and in a long term scheme of things. So I'm a firm believer that everything happens for a reason. I don't regret these guys coming to the Saints. I don't regret Baltimore and Kansas City moving up to get some franchise pieces where they needed them. It worked out well for all three organizations overall.
Yep, I agree. But like I was saying, I think we might win. Let's see. We got Denver on Sunday. We got Atlanta again at their house, and a week from this coming Sunday. We got Philadelphia. We got Kansas City. We got Minnesota on Christmas Day, and we got the Panthers the first Sunday in 2021. I'd say we either go. I'd say we either go either 14-2, 13-3, or 12-4 in the next 6 games. That's what I'm looking at, or 11-5. As long as we have a winning season, Aaron, we're going to be just fine. But I still want to keep winning so I can get that. We can get that 1 seed. And shouts out to the Indianapolis Colts for beating the Green Bay Packers in overtime because, man, that game right there, Aaron, scared the shit out of me, bruh. Especially the last 2 minutes in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, Sam. I don't know what the hell was going on with that game.
I can't say it either.
Either the Colts were trying to give away the game, or the rest was just trying to, or the rest were just in Aaron Rodgers' back pocket. That made absolutely no sense to me. But the fact that Green Bay actually managed to choke, and now like I say the blueprint is pretty much out on this Green Bay team. They don't have any reliable number two outside of Devontae. He's their he's one and only go-to guy in terms of getting a big play on a big down, like a big third down or a key drive. So I'm hoping if the Saints end up getting Green Bay as an opponent, I hope that Devontae Adams ends up playing, so it doesn't force these 2 to 3 numbered receivers in Valdez Scantling and Alan Lazard to come up like they did it against us in week 3. But even if they were, I think the Saints defense are coming hot at the right time, especially when the postseason is right around the corner. I think the Saints can end up winning that rematch if they do end up against them. But that's all I got on that one. You got anything else for me, Jerry?
Yeah, I do have something else, man. I know we got Thanksgiving in a couple of days, so happy Thanksgiving to you and your family, and all that good stuff. And I'll celebrate with mine. But I do have one other thing I do want to say, if I can think of. Like I said, if we keep winning these games and watch these other teams lose, we're gonna lock up that division, and we are gonna lock up that 1 seed. We just gotta keep winning these next 6 games, hopefully, and hopefully things will work out all right in the playoffs because I'm used to the old format of the playoffs. You get the 1 seed, you get the 2 seed, then you got 4 teams seeing who gonna face in the next round because we just got to see how this thing works. But I'm used to the old format, and I'm sure you are too with the 1 seed and the 2 seed in the AFC and the NFC.
Yeah, I think this is one going to be like maybe a one time thing just to see how it goes. But I don't think.
Yeah, just want to give it a test drive. A test
Yeah,
drive. That's all.
I definitely wouldn't expect it to be a continuous thing come the next season, 2021 season. But Jerry, I appreciate you calling in, man. Call in anytime, brother. Who that to you?
All right, who that to you, Aaron? Take care.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you. Yeah, that's Jerry Poor, everybody. Knowledgeable guy, a passionate guy. You just love the energy he gives you whenever he comes into a chat. He is very passionate about the Saints, probably even more than me. I've never seen the kind of energy that Jerry Poor gives in anybody else, especially in me. I know I could get a hype. I know I could get excited. And Jerry Poor is on that whole other level. So shout out to Jerry Poor. If y'all aren't familiar with them, y'all need to get familiar with them. That guy is something different, man. But that's all I got for right now on this edition of the State of Black and Gold podcast. Like I said earlier, if you want to donate to the stream, donate to the podcast, make sure it comes live even more so. I wanna invest in a green screen in the background here, kind of like back here. But yeah, if you want to donate to the stream, the link to my PayPal is in the description. Make sure y'all support me by hitting that notification bell and the subscribe button here on YouTube. Follow me on Facebook at facebook.com/State of Black and Gold. The link will be in the description. And follow me on Twitter at Real Aaron Davis. I will be linking TJ Jones' State of the Saints podcast in the comments after the stream is over, because I want y'all to go check that man out. He is knowledgeable. I honestly believe he can be a reliable Saints head coach going forward. Like, that's how I feel about TJ Jones. So shouts out to you, man, if you ever catch this podcast. But that's it. That's all. I'll see y'all later. And y'all already know, if you don't know, over here, we bleed black and gold until we are dead and cold. I'll see y'all next time. Goodbye.